Articulation Radio. Articulation.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another informative and entertaining episode of Articulation Radio. I am your host, the Honorable Joaquin Man. You know how we do things here at Articulation Radio. We will start off the day's episode by taking a glance at the news headlines, and today's news segment is sponsored by bepublished.org.
These are three of the news headlines and events I saw today, Wednesday, February 15th, 2023, when visiting EliteValuesNews.com on your behalf. South Africa's largest rhino farm puts itself up for sale. China's Xi expresses support for Iran amid Western pressure. And Business Social Network of Houston gathers 9 p.m. until 10:30 p.m. at 5225 Katy Freeway in Houston, Texas. Those are three of the news headlines and events I saw today when visiting EliteValuesNews.com. Be sure to head on over. They report on multiple categories and also list multiple headlines under each. So feel free to hit refresh anytime you want to see new headlines under any of the categories, because as you know, so much happens in this world of ours, and the staff at Elite Values News makes it a point to keep you abreast of as much as possible. Check out the headlines now. EliteValuesNews.com. I am Goddess Sage, reporting live.
Looking for the latest news? Visit Elite Values News. EliteValuesNews.com has all the latest news and information. Check out the headlines hourly. EliteValuesNews.com. Visit now.
Do you want to be published? Are you looking for a high-quality, low-cost way to be published with a fast turnaround? Visit bepublished.org to publish today. www.bepublished.org. bepublished.org. Publish today. Books, movies, and music. Listeners, we love you, we hear you, and I am so glad to be here with you today on this episode of Articulation Radio. I have an interview coming up for you, and I also have a topic, so stay tuned.
wish I'd forget you, but you're here to stay. It seems
just leave me alone. I've got those Monday blues straight through Sunday blues. Good morning, heartache. Here we go again. Good morning, heartache. You're the one who knew me well. Might as well get used to you hanging around. Never. So good morning, heartache. Do sit down. Have tea with me, but do go, please.
You have a product? Let them help you increase sales. You have a video? Let them help you make it go viral. Peoplewarmers.com. PeopleWarmers.com.
Thinking about what we've been through. The world can be a lonely place. Baby, I'm so glad that I found you. Now I got someone to embrace. From the day you stole my heart, I never ever want to be apart. Don't you feel the times are coming? 'Cause I feel it so strong. I've been on hold on, baby. Don't you feel the times are coming? When it feels so right to dance in the moonlight, baby, with you. Sometimes we all struggle, but when the sun's my face, I think of you, all my troubles are gone without a trace. From all the things that are you, I know our love will see us through. Don't you feel the times are coming? 'Cause I feel it so strong. I've been on hold on, baby. Don't you feel the times are coming? When it feels so right to dance in the moonlight, baby, with you. How wonderful life can be. No matter what's in store, as long as you and me, baby, we can open every door. From the day you stole my heart, I never ever want to be apart. From all the things that are you, I know our love will see us through. Don't you feel the times are coming? 'Cause I feel it so strong. I've been on hold on, baby. Don't you feel the times are coming? When it feels so right to dance in the moonlight, baby, with you.
ARTistreview.com. All artists need a platform. The Artist Review makes sure you have the one you need to put your work in front of your fans. ARTistreview.com. Artist, REVUE.com.
This is a squid peep.
I don't know you, shorty, all I know is getting bucks. So much money I could fill a fucking Brinks truck. I'm the shit, and you hoes struck. Catch me flying down your block in a foreign truck. I don't know you, shorty, all I know is getting bucks. So much money I could fill a fucking Brinks truck. I'm the shit, and you hoes struck. Catch me flying down your block in a foreign truck. Hair blowing, loud blowing, windows slightly tinted. Wavy, stay looking in the mirror every 5 minutes. Damn, cause I know I'm looking good, bitch, I know I'm shitty. You see me, don't know about that logo, then you can't be winning. You lose 2 cell phones, knocking off the fucking hinges. Smash one the personal and the other one is for my business. Get it, and you hating motherfuckers need to man your business. Please stop worrying about man and gonna get some digits. My money long and yours short like a midget. Shout, hit my line if you need that weight on that midget. Y'all 10 G's or better just to come and fuck with me. Holla, got a plug out this world and he fucks with me. The long way. Call me MJ cause I'm fading all them niggas. Swish Hood Kim K cause I'm ballin' off all them niggas. Swish every day I check a bag like a bad check. Swerve. All I do is count racks, I don't cash checks. I don't know you, shorty, all I know is getting bucks. So much money I could fill a fucking Brinks truck. I'm the shit, and you hoes struck. Catch me flying down your block in a foreign truck. I don't know you, shorty, all I know is getting bucks. So much money I could fill a fucking Brinks truck. I'm the shit, and you hoes struck. Catch me flying down your block in a foreign truck.
Have you always wanted to start a business but can't seem to get it off the ground? Call 972-880-8316 for your free initial consultation with a representative from The Conglomerate, or visit theconglomerate.work today to book your consultation in person. Theconglomerate.work, TheConglomerate.work, theconglomerate.work. Call 972-880-8316 to start your new business today.
Today's episode of Articulation Radio, which is titled Getting Out and Freeing Others, was kicked off with Good Morning Heartache by Goddess Sage, followed by Good Times Are Coming by LM Styles and Brinks Rough by Marcy Largo. Now, before I play One True Vibe, one by Martin Land, I want to be sure to let you all know that the reason today's episode is titled Getting Out and Freeing Others is because Goddess Sage will be interviewing the first-time author Kari Kenyatta from Tennessee, who now lives in Texas, and they will be talking about her brand new book titled Black Diamond Unbreakable. And when you all read this book, hear her story, you will see indeed she is a black diamond and is unbreakable, and so are you. And I want to throw out a little bit on this topic, getting out and freeing others, because in addition to this interview, we do have this great topic, and people, don't take our topics for granted. Whether or not I take the time or Sage takes the time to expound upon the topic, we want you to always take the time to expound upon it. Let's start now. Take a couple of seconds. Think about getting out and freeing others. What is there that you're going through that you need to get out of? What is there that you've already come out of that you know for a fact you can help others come out of? They can use those same strategies. How about you apply those strategies from before to this new problem? See whether that'll help you come out of it as well. And even if not, may inspire you or even lead you down a path to where you can come up with other new ways to come out of your current situation, because you can get out and you can free others. But in order to free others, you first have to free yourself. Love yourself. Valentine's Day should be every day, and let's make it a point to make it every day. Just like history for your people is every day, and celebrating your culture is every day, your love for yourself should be every day. And your walking in the faith and the fellowship of your religion and your spirituality should be every day. So go ahead, whatever it is you're dealing with, whatever it is you've been through, use those things that you've already come out of to help you get out of this situation now. And also be willing to share that information with other people. Help them get out and give them their time to process the information. Give them the information, let it be, let it go. So yeah, we're going to keep this show rolling. Of course, I have that One True Vibe one coming up by Martin Mann. And then we're going to bring on that interview with Goddess Sage and Kari Kenyatta. Head on over right now to KariKenyatta.com. Grab up your copy of her book and make it a point to show up at her book signing at Broadway Social, March the 11th, 5 p.m. in Maryville, Tennessee. Broadway Social, March the 11th, Saturday, 5 p.m. in Maryville, Tennessee. And of course, head on over to that website, KariKenyatta.com. Grab up your pre-autographed copy so the book will already be waiting for you, okay? Got to keep this show rolling.
You are listening to Articulation Radio. Head on over to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts.
Would you like a motivational speaker to come to your company or organization to speak to your group? Visit lifespurposeministries.com. That's lifespurposeministries.com.
Do you frequently shop online and you're looking for a new place to shop? Join the club, JeffersonTaylor.club, where models, designers, inventors, and other creators offer customers the best products at fair prices. Jefferson Taylor, JeffersonTaylor.club. Join the club. Shop today, JeffersonTaylor.club.
Articulation Radio is very, very pleased, people, to have on the line with us today the Arthur, all the way from Texas via Tennessee, and we're going to dive a little bit more into that little double T state dynamic. I'm here with the Arthur Kari Kenyatta, the Arthur of Black Diamond Unbreakable. Miss Kari Kenyatta, how you doing today?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well,
I am
doing
so
well.
good. I am good, very blessed.
Yes, and tell us a little bit, let's dive right on in because we know that
Okay.
your work is one that, of course, for those of you who this is your first time hearing about Black Diamond Unbreakable, you can head on over right now to pretty much any book retailer in the world, whether you go around the corner to your favorite neighborhood bookstore or whether you order it from a bookstore online or Amazon or even a shop there in Timbuktu. You know, wherever you want, you can get this book. It is Kari Kenyatta, Kari with the apostrophe, Kari apostrophe Kenyatta, Kenyatta. The title is Black Diamond Unbreakable. And people, this is not your standard autobiography. This is literally a story that walks you through some of the most tragic moments that the author has had to overcome, and she gives you glimpses into the life that she has been able to create by using these moments as momentum instead of having them to remain keeping her bogged down, because we all go through things and it pulls us down. But Miss Kari Kenyatta, baby, is able to let you all know how she came out and even give you ideas for how you can come out. So, Miss Kari Kenyatta, why don't you tell the readers in your own words what your main take-home message is for Black Diamond Unbreakable without giving away too many details, because people, y'all want to get this book. You really want to get 2 or 3 copies. But go ahead and let them know. Because you know the other one going to walk away while you laughing. You know the other one going to walk away. People, I'm warning y'all. This is not, even from the way it looks, I'm telling you, this is not a book that you want to let anybody borrow. You don't want to do that. Already have you a couple of copies there, so that way anybody who shows interest, they're like, "Ooh, can I bring this back?" Be like, "Oh, girl, I got one for you," or "Baby, I got one for you." You know, here you go, boy. You know, but yeah. So go ahead, let them know.
Yeah, this book was pretty much my message to the world, just to be an overcomer. You know, just to be able to, no matter how many times life comes at you, or no matter how many times life hits you hard, you have to always get back up. You have to always keep fighting, and no matter what we go through, we have to get to our core, to our essence. We have to just be unapologetically ourselves, and we have to be able to just be truly authentic. And a part of getting through a lot of the situations that you go through, hard times, it comes from choices. And until you are really healed, you're going to keep making choices out of that pain. And that's what I was doing. And I don't want to tell anything that's in the book, really, but I had so many different situations that one day I finally had to sit down and say, hey, you are the common denominator in all these issues. Let's sit down and stop being the victim and start working on you. And so I had to go all the way back to childhood. And I had to go back to where it started. So once I figured out what I needed to heal and how I needed to heal, it began to make sense how I was operating and going through different relationships and just acting out of pain and anger. And I just needed to heal. I had a lot of childhood traumas. And one of the biggest things that I really learned that I needed to do was just be gentle with myself. I had gotten to the point to where I talked worse to myself than I'd ever talked to anyone else. And I pushed myself so hard. And that toxic productivity, that's a real thing, you know, to where you just never think you're good enough, and that people pleasing. And so it was just a lot of things that I had to do to develop, to become a better woman, to become a better mother. But it essentially started with self-love and setting boundaries and just learning to say no. And being okay with people not agreeing with me, being okay with people not liking me. And it's like once I was able to do that, and it gave me a sense of freedom, you know, to where I could really live my life on my terms. And I just go through everything I went through in my life. It was funny. My editor, they called the publisher, wanted to see if I had if it was really an autobiography, because they couldn't believe it was real. Because I just went through so much, and you don't really realize when you're going through it. It wasn't until I put it on paper I was like, whoa, this is heavy. But I'm just blessed to be here. I'm blessed to tell my story. I was 17. I had my first child, so a teen mother. And so those things like that have made me have a tender spot for teenage mothers or single mothers. I was started running with the wrong crowd, got on drugs, and hey, I got a tender spot for drug addicts. And so it's like, no matter what you have gone through, no matter what life throws at you, you are unbreakable. And that's what the black diamond is. The black diamond is the carbonado, is the toughest diamond to cut. And so the name just really fit. And it's like, once I realized that title, I was like, that's it. And it's essentially who I've become, just unbreakable.
The Carbonaro effect, the new Carbonaro effect.
Yes, yes.
Black Diamond Unbreakable. And people, and again, head over and grab this, because I'm telling you, it is worth every penny. Especially if you know someone who's been through a lot, and there are things that this person wants to still achieve, but every time it's like they move forward, they kind of give up on themselves because of, I would say, the phantoms from the past. But, baby, get that person this book. I guarantee you they're going to be able to, even if not find relativity, at least be able to apply some associative thinking to it, so that way they can see some parallels to their own lives, even if there aren't any direct connections, But Let me ask you this, Ms. Kari. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that, you are a mother, you are a serial entrepreneur, you also are a motivational speaker. There are a lot of people who, of course, want to write a book, have been planning writing a book, have been writing a book, but they're like, I don't have time, I'm not able to do it. What tips would you give to people who, really want to do it, like they really, really do? They say that they really do. They say that God gave them this message. They got to put it out, but they just, don't see how they can. What tips would you give them, or what advice would you give them to be able to, carve out some time and do that time management and knock it on out?
The first thing that I did, and I think it was because I had gone through so much, and because I needed to kind of jog my memory, I started with a timeline. And I did just every year from the date I was born, and I just started taking notes on things that had happened. And then I broke it down from there. It was very wide, but as I broke down each year, then it just started jogging my memory on different things. And when you think of it, write it. But one of the best things that happened for me, my mentor and coach, Tiffany McIntosh, she introduced me to my publisher there at bpublished.org, and they were just amazing as far as helping me and pushing me, and it was hard to get it out, and I just really thank her, because she had to really get at me a couple of times, because pushing this book out was so difficult. It's like I started just to kind of seclude into my shell. I went right back into my shell. I wouldn't answer the phone, and but she pushed
reliving the things and the emotions.
Yeah, so I was going through 48 years of trauma all over again, and for someone to be able to pull that out of you, just make sure you have the right publisher. Just make sure you have someone that really cares about your story. And, like I said, I went with bpublished.org, and it was amazing. And, they're just different packages you can get. Just depends on what you do, but they helped me make this process so much easier than I imagined it would be. Because I've been saying I wanted to write a book for years, and it was hard because I was nervous at first, just like, oh my gosh, I know everybody from my town knows me, but to actually put yourself out there on Front Street for the world to know the things that you've done. And it's finally, when it was time to do my final edits, I finally had to get real with myself and say, hey, quit being selfish. There is a young lady out there on drugs. There's maybe a parent out there that needs to know what your father did for you. You know, there's someone out there who's had a child. You need to let these young women know, hey, just because you had a baby, your life's not over.
Yes.
And because you have a baby, don't keep making the same mistakes. Get yourself on your feet. You know, you don't have to necessarily, if you don't want to go to college, pick up a trade, but you have to find out what your gift is, and you have to find your purpose. And it's not about the money. Once you find your purpose and you pour into other people, and you truly go after what you desire and what you know, because, you know, the Bible says God will give you your heart's desire. And just keep the faith. That's one thing I had to keep telling myself when I did this book, because I'm telling you, after I finished it, I was physically ill for a few days. I probably would have been in bed longer than a week had had Tiffany, my mentor, not called me, you know, because I was here in Houston. She said, hey, I ain't heard from you in a few days. I know what's going on. It's time for you to get up. She said, you just had an emotional dump with this book, but you got it out. It's like birthing a child, and you did it. And so she said, so let's celebrate, you know.
Yes.
And so just as women and even men, you know, I've battled with depression and anxiety for years, and when I got my back against the wall or I'm feeling away, I've had to learn to not isolate.
Yeah.
I've had to learn to just let one person know what's going on with me, you know, especially with the drug addiction. If you're dealing with drugs and you seem like you can't kick it, you have to talk to somebody. Call your sponsor. Go to an NA meeting. But you can't hold those secrets inside. Yeah. You have to have someone to help you stay accountable. Because, you know, like I said, I was addicted to crack cocaine. And I've seen things. I've been in places I never thought I would be. And I'm just so grateful right now that I'm alive.
Yes.
Because I've buried a lot of friends. I've seen way more dead bodies than I care to count.
Right.
I've watched my sister, you know, just different people in my family. They get sick and you lose people. So get the help you need. And I'll talk about some of those things in the book and what I had to do to get help, even when they told me they didn't have room for me, you know, when I went to get help. So, you know, that's just the biggest thing, you know, find your why, find your purpose. And for me, it was my children. It was my children, and then just, you know, trying to make my parents proud and just not being a statistic anymore, you know, not just being a teenage mom that, you know, had a rough life and ended up getting on drugs. You know, make a difference. Be able to do something different so you can go back and pull someone from your community, you know, and you know, be able to help someone else, you know, just like the cover of my book, you know. I want to give a shout out to someone from my hometown. His name is Elijah Cox. You know, he's a young entrepreneur. He's, I think, maybe in his second year of college. I'm not sure, early 20s. He's an up-and-coming photographer. He did my photos.
Oh.
So, yes. So that's the mission that I'm on. You know, sometimes people, they go up and they act like they don't remember where they came from. I'm always going to remember where I came from. Right. You know, when I moved, I was cleaning. I found my food stamp card. And I had to think back for a minute, you know, man, that was precious. Because, you know, that's how we ate. And I couldn't throw it away. I put it in my wallet as a constant reminder, you know, just where I've come from. You know, you don't be ashamed if you need help. That's what it's there for. But use those things to level up. Never get complacent. You know, if you are comfortable, you're in the wrong spot. Get uncomfortable. And when you get uncomfortable and you start going through things, that's the only way you change. If you go through life just easy peasy all the time and you never, you know, hit anything, when life hits you, it's going to be rough. You know, and I know when I was in massage school, sometimes I'd be in there. I was one of the oldest people in the class, but I didn't look like it. But you know,
say that, girl.
Girl,
and
some of
for
the girls
those of
thought
you
I was
who are
their
just
age.
tuning in, you're listening to Articulation Radio. My name is Goddess Sage, and I am interviewing the author Kari Kenyatta about her book, Black Diamond Unbreakable. You better go and get that. Black Diamond Unbreakable. Kari Kenyatta, Kari with the apostrophe, Kari apostrophe Kenyatta, Kenyatta. Black Diamond Unbreakable. Grab yours from any book retailer anywhere in the world, including Amazon. But go ahead, let them know what you were saying, babe.
Yeah, just, you know, when I was in class, you know, sometimes people, they would get overwhelmed with certain things, or, you know, they may be just bummed out maybe over a certain thing that's happened. And to me, I'm looking at it like, what happened? That's it? You know, now, and not to minimize anybody's things, but sometimes you have an issue when you've gone through so much and you're transforming into that diamond. You have to endure pressure. You have to endure intense heat. You have to get cut. So it's like, I've been through so much. Sometimes people think I don't care about things, or I'm nonchalant, or I don't show any emotion. You know, when you've gone through as much as I have, it's going to take a little bit to get me, you know, to feeling away.
Right.
You know, because I've experienced so many things that, and sometimes people wonder, hey, you've gone through all this stuff. How can you be so happy? Why are you always laughing? And I didn't know that you were on drugs. You don't look like you've been on drugs, you know, and I'm very thankful. I don't look like what I've been through. And
yes,
so that,
and that you're able
I'm
to even
grateful.
have that joyous spirit.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
let me ask you, for those who have a hard time, you know, because not everybody is able to find something within themselves. And unfortunately, a lot of people do seek that outside validation. For those who do want to be able to stand firmer by, you know, tapping into the divinity within, what direction would you recommend for them? What were some of the steps that you took or that you still take in order to, you know, tap within and to find your wherewithal to continue going forward with optimism?
You know, we all get to an age, we're kind of at an age where, you know, you don't know what you want to do, you know, and here I was in my 30s, like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. You know, it was one thing when I was in high school, then it changed in college, but what I had to finally sit down one day, and this is when I got laid off from a job in corporate America, it gave me time to sit down, reevaluate things, and I got to actually look at what I enjoy doing. Find something that you enjoy doing, that you do better than anyone else, that you would do for free if you could live off of it, you know, and that is your gift. God has given everyone a gift. And, you know, some people, it may be cooking, you know, dancing. It's just, everyone has a gift. You know, I used to want mine to be singing. It was never going to be that. But I discovered just writing this book, I'm a writer.
Yes.
And being in Maryville College and getting my English degree, I was always drawn to that. When I wrote this book and I birthed this book, it was like I was able to take off. It was such a heavy weight lifted off of me. Yeah. When I released it. And so just dig deep. And one of my biggest problems too, I was always in relationship to relationship, and I never took time with myself. So be okay being alone.
And that's
be
an
okay
appropriate
getting in your
message for
thoughts.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And of course they'll be hearing this the day after, but you know, still.
Yeah. I mean, think about what you're thinking about. love yourself just as much more than you love those people who hurt you. And it's just sometimes, especially as mothers, and we have so many hats. We work. We have to be a mom. We have to be the doctor. We have to be the plumber. And so sometimes we have to take those moments to replenish ourselves.
Yes.
We have to take, and I used to feel like I was being selfish if I bought me something for $20, but I've got a buggy full of stuff for the kids, but it's like, take the time for yourself, even if it's just taking a walk. Go get a massage, and that's something else I talk about in my book. I have my massage license, and I'm big on that. And so you just have to heal from the inside out.
Yes, and use that gift in order to help thrust you forward in that healing. Yes. And now, and this is my last question for you.
Okay.
Well, I think it is. We'll see. What is there that you have not said to the listeners of Articulate? Oh, you know what? It's definitely not. Because I know that there are people who are listening who are like, I want to see her. I want to get the book, but I want to see her. So people, you can head to her website, KariKenyatta.com, KariKenyatta.com. And, of course, you'll be able to, from there, not only reserve you a pre-autographed copy of the book that you can pick up at her upcoming book signing. It's going to be a read it and eat event to where you'll be able to come in. Oh, and people, it's going to be at this spot, Broadway Social, there in Maryville. Now, I hear, you can hear anything. May or may not be true. But I hear that Broadway Social has the best wings the best wings that you gonna find
wings, honey.
In Tennessee.
Not just wings, they got some wings over there. And that's the place to be. That was another thing. I went back. A couple of my friends
Saturday,
back home, me and Charity, they own that.
From 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and they do. It's just some of my friends from back home. They own that, and I just felt like, hey, instead of going to a big place, and just go back to where I'm from, pour back into the community, and it's no place like home. You can always travel and go other places, but I want to be able to support, Charity and Mia with their business, and that's just another part of giving back. Just not everybody wants a handout. They sometimes need a hand up. Yes. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be knowledge. It could be, hey, how did you do that? Or where do I go for this? And that's what I'm working on now. I'm already got ready to start my next book. I'm coming out with some ebooks. I've started on some ebooks with credit, and that's something we need in our community is financial literacy. And, I've got something else coming out with passive income. And so that's just a mission I'm on right now. That's something I wish I would have known earlier.
So you all definitely need to go over to KariKenyatta.com, grab the books from there, hardback, paperback. You can also grab up, of course, her upcoming ebooks, as well as, of course, stay abreast of any of her upcoming events, as well as you can make sure that you show up for that event on March the 11th there in Maryville at Broadway Social at 5 o'clock. So, and, of course, now you got to pay for your own food and drinks if you do decide to dine there with the author, but you will have a chance to, read the book there, listen to her, possibly read some things from it. But this is an event that you want to be sure to show up for. Kari, what else is there that you want to say to the listeners that you haven't had a chance to express?
Life is tough, and it's right now, especially the way the economy is and the world right now, it's just a tough place, but the main message that I wanted to, put out in my book is that, sometimes I know you get tired. I know your heart is weary and you're tired of getting hurt. And sometimes it's more months than it is money, but keep the faith. Have the faith of a mustard seed. Keep pressing forward. And if you focus on healing from the inside and not the money and being able to pour into someone else, they'll pour back into you, and those blessings will come back. But the biggest thing is remain strong, remain beautiful, and stay unbreakable. Because we're but we ain't gonna break. But you're gonna have to get back up every time life knocks you down. I don't care if you're on the 9 count, get up. And sometimes that's how I really felt like I was. When you have to deal with depression, you're in a dark place. It's like climbing out of a dark hole. But you have to make a decision to get up and just start giving yourself a little grace, and just put one foot in front of the other. I've heard before, what's the saying? They say, when you take 2 steps forward, you get knocked back, 5 or whatever. And my positive saying in that is, we're doing a cha-cha. It's a dance. Every time you get knocked back, you go up and get knocked back, life is a dance. Keep dancing, keep fighting, and, persistence is key. If you never give up, life will have to give its way to you eventually.
That's true, because nothing stays the same forever, people, not even hard times,
No,
and let me ask you real quick, because I know I said that was, but okay, my very last one. This one really is it, because I know, time is tight, and Joaquin is like giving me the eye. So, and people, he does have some more great music for you, so definitely stay tuned after this interview. But tell them real quick about your businesses that you've been able to start. And, of course, serial entrepreneur, has multiple successful businesses. Tell them about the businesses that you've started and any tips that you would provide for them if they're interested in getting their own things going.
I opened my first daycare center in 2010. And about 6 years later, I opened my second. So I've been in the daycare business, helping children and helping families. Because like I said earlier, just pouring back into those families and single mothers or single parents. After that, my cousin and I, we opened a spa in Maryville. We had 2 more in the West Tennessee area. And I had a DUI school. And so with that, also we're just helping people get their driver's license back and things like that. But the biggest part about business is if you can start a business, that's wonderful, but can you maintain it? And once you start one, it's really addicting, because you see, okay, hey, I can do this, but you have to just find the supply and the demand. And for me, I knew people are always going to need childcare. And that's one of my ebooks that'll be coming out this year too, just on how to start a daycare center and run it successfully. So I'm just trying to put out as much info that I can to pour back and help people, because it's so many people, they're like, hey, I've talked to somebody, but they don't want to share information. And I just think that is so selfish, because if you've done something successful, why not just answer a few questions for someone else? They're not asking you to give them money. They just need a little knowledge. And knowledge is the new money. It doesn't hurt anything to help people. And so that's just my biggest thing. I just want to be a blessing to people. And I usually wake up every day, it's like, okay, who can I bless today? And that may just be something as simple as telling someone they're beautiful, because you don't know how they woke up this morning. So that's just my biggest thing, just trying to be a good example for my children. And I've got 5 children, and I love each of them dearly. And so just trying to leave a legacy, make my father and my family proud, because someone has to break those generational curses. Someone has to stop doing the things that have been done repeatedly in your family. And if I can write a book, okay, now I've got my nieces and nephews and other people like, oh, I want to write a book. So, be a trailblazer. Do something different. Don't follow the crowd. And that's just my biggest thing. Go after your dreams and never give up.
Yes, people, definitely do that. And definitely right now, head over to KariKenyatta.com or wherever your favorite book retailer is. Grab up your copy of Black Diamond Unbreakable by Kari Kenyatta, as well as head over to that website, KariKenyatta.com, Kari Kenyatta.com, and not only reserve your autographed copies for her upcoming event where you can pick up your pre-autographed book, as well as you can pay to, if you do decide to dine and everything with the author, you can pay for your meals there and, enjoy yourselves alongside her family and friends and other beloved readers, as well as, of course, you can take advantage of any of the offerings that she has available through her businesses, and you can be among the first people to grab up her new ebooks when they come out on the different business strategies. So people, get it in, improve your credit, start that business, that daycare center, all of that good stuff. But first, you need to grab up Black Diamond, Unbreakable by Kari Kenyatta in hardback or softback from that website, KariKenyatta.com. Kari, thank you so much for coming on to Articulation
Radio. Thank you so
Radio.
much. It was an honor. Yes, it was an honor. I was so excited when I got the call, and just thank you for taking the time to have me on here. And your beautiful soul. I just really appreciate everything. I really do. Thank you for taking the time.
And you have to come back whenever you're ready to promote any of your other events or your other
definitely,
books. You have to come back.
Yes, definitely. I'd love to. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. Thank you, Kari. And listeners, stay tuned. Joaquin Mann has some more great cuts for you.
Media Room 360 TV. Media Room 360 TV is a channel that has something for everyone, from world news, inspiration, programming for kids, politics, sports, technology, and entertainment. Media Room 360 TV has got you covered. Check out one of our shows today on Roku. Media Room 360 Internet Television on Roku. And if you need a speaker, head over to Media Room 360 Speakers at MediaRoom360.com. That's MediaRoom360.com.
If you'd like more information on how you can be an eyelash artist, call us at 314-560-1641 or 888-585-LASH, LashingOutLoudInc.com.
Whenever you're down, out in the cold, faithless and dark, your story's untold. Come take my hand and walk there with me. I know a place where we can be free. There is a light shining for you, guiding your way, helping you through. And shadows and gloom are all that you see. We'll find a place where we can be free. From the mountain top down to the deepest valley, hear a voice calling you. It's the rising sun shining in the darkest alley. Can't you see you will be free? I have been far, I have been wide, searching for peace, somewhere to hide.
just heard There Is a Light by Stonekeepers featuring David Manuel. Up next is One Night by Aiden Cole. That will be followed by Just Don't Get Enough of Me by Mind Me featuring Emmy. And The Horizon of Love by Stonekeepers featuring Revel Day. Then you'll hear Monkey on a Stick by Trap Thriller.
Articulation Radio, thanks you so much for listening. So head on over right now to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts on today's episode. In the meantime, we're going to keep the show rolling for you.
Are you looking for grant writers, technical writers, creative writers, academic writers, any kind of writers? Head to the Writers Consortium. Their website, writersconsortium.us, www.writersconsortium.us, the Writers Consortium, writersconsortium.us, for all of your writing needs. Think of it, they can produce it for you. They are the ghost writers to the top people.
Never could have been thinking I would know what the future bring. All the highs and lows. Said I'm gonna win, though the world might spin. Now I'm sitting here like I'm no one. Don't get enough of me. Just 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 don't get enough
Weddings are expensive, but your love is worth it. Go to marryusnow.us to book the Minister of Love to officiate your wedding today. The fee is only $200 if your wedding is in the city of Chicago, and there's only a small fee to get the Minister of Love to travel outside of Chicago to your wedding location. Book the Minister of Love today. Visit marryusnow.us. That's marryusnow.us.
If you are a savvy senior who's seeking a lifestyle club that's centered around you, visit sittingroom.xyz today. The Sitting Room, sittingroom.xyz, where savvy seniors socialize, get event invites, organize among themselves, as well as obtain merchandise and get engaged to create new things. The Sitting Room, sittingroom.xyz. Visit today.
Hood, rigid, 9 inch, 7 inch. Let me see what you're working with. Hey! Truck the Lord! Trap that bitch out. Trap the law. I'm a bad bitch, get up. Do that monkey on that stick. No hand, hit a split. Cry baby on that dick. Bad bitch, you with the shit. Do that monkey on that stick. No hand, hit a split. Trap the law. I'm a bad bitch, get up. Mr. Looking for a splitter.
Still a little bitch and I ain't real fat. Bad ass baby that wanna hit from the back. If you ain't talking money, I don't need speed, baby. Can't be bad, we ain't going outside. Find a little bitch with a whole lot of cash. Wait, little click that'll make niggas fat. Climb that bitch, y'all really can say, nigga, fuck your money, I been getting cash, yeah.
What do that monkey on that stick? No hand, hit a split. Cry baby on that dick. Bend over, let me see that pink bitch. Fuck her from the back while I choke. Thumb in the booty while I'm scrolling. No running now, bitch, I ain't no folder. Pump my shit, you know that dick golden. All the being paid, baby, I'm on it. And Mr. Liquor before I split her. Trap filler. I'm a bad bitch, get up. Bust it open for a trap nigga. Show that pussy to a trap nigga. Baby girl, go get it. Make her itty bitty. She got a fat ass titty. It's still not looking pretty. Show them pussy ass bitches that you bad and you winning. Trap filler. I'm a bad bitch, get her, bad bitch, get her. Do that mic on that stick. No hand, hit a split. Cry baby on that dick. Is you a bad bitch, bad bitch? Do that mic on that stick. No hand, hit a split.
Yeah, go get a bag. Taste so good, wanna eat it every day. Y'all hope he broke, need to stay, y'all lame. Make the back while I ride his face. No fit as fuck love, I'm a thug little bitch. Can't trust on nigga who ain't got his own bleed. If it ain't about money, don't miss me, bitch. We ain't chasing nothing else, just back little bitch. No relations involved, you can have him sis. Yeah.
Trap filler. Trap that bitch out.
Want to buy stocks, jewels, real estate, or other high-end items? Would you love to be able to contribute to charitable initiatives but cannot do these things with the money you currently have? Join Regal City Investment and Social Club, where you can pool money each month with other investors to make major purchases, give to the needy, and possibly turn a profit. www.regalcity.xyz. Become a Regal citizen today by joining Regal City Investment and Social Club. regalcity.xyz.
My people, my fam, my folks, I thank you so much. We all here at Articulation Radio, thank you so much for tuning in today and making us a part of what it is that you do. We encourage you to go over to our website, articulationmedia.club, and let us know not only what you think about today's episode, but make sure that your music, your interview, and your ad all take place right here on this station, Articulation Radio. Go to articulationmedia.club right now and hook yourself up. Make sure that you do that so you can hook other people up. But be sure to tune in again on Articulation Radio. We'll catch you again soon. And in the meantime, you already know, keep being a doer, keep being a move maker, and keep making things happen.
Articulation. 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 Articulation.